I've been around politics long enough, folks, to know that the problem with it is that there is a culture of drink, inflated egos and long hours, not institutional sexism, as the Tory MP Caroline Nokes has said. The Conservative Party, of all political parties, with two female leaders of that party, one somewhat more successful than the other, I think it's safe to say, is undoubtedly a testament to the idea that you don't need diversity quotas for women to get ahead. I don't doubt for a second, right, that things may well have been horrific for women in politics in the past. We'll be hearing from Anne Widdecombe, a politician who's been around to perhaps experience some of that. Not just politics in many male-dominated workplaces. I think you could argue that things were pretty awful for women. That's rightly changing. That culture is changing. But I fear that the Conservative Party, with its record of allowing women to get ahead on being the best person for the job, is actually at risk of putting women forward purely because, folks, they happen to have a vagina, right? Basing it entirely around a person's immutable characteristics. The Commons Speaker Sir Lindsay Hoyle has called for radical reform to working practices after a string of, as I say, bullying and sexual misconduct offences involving MPs. That should occur, right? With each passing week these days, the Palace of Westminster accrues more HR issues than Hugh Hefner's Playboy mansion. But the Conservatives would learn the wrong lessons from this saga were they to agree with party chairman Oliver Dowden, who said that the party must now ensure half of the Conservative MPs returned at the next election are women. Were in replacing Neil Parish, the MP quitting after admitting he watched pornography twice in Parliament, were the Tories to decide that the only thing to do now is to create these all-women shortlists, I think, folks, they'd be doing women a disservice. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why that is. Suppose you're selected, right, on your immutable characteristics, on being the owner of a vagina, or some other arbitrary condition, rather than being the right candidate for the job. In that case, you'll always be thought of as a diversity hire, a tokenistic target, or as second best to those who truly deserved the job. That's not the lesson we should be learning from this. Women who care about politics, women who care about their communities, they're just as worthy as a place in Parliament as men. But it has to be a selection based solely on merit. Once the Tories go down this route of box ticking, of quotas like a pick and mix of X number of MPs that are women, black, brown, gay, trans, or whatever else, then I'm afraid they make themselves just as bad as their political opponents. Political opponents that see us all through the lens of identity, and not, folks, crucially, as the individuals that we all are.